What's up, guys? Welcome back to the video on the channel here once again. It's been a few days since we've actually uploaded something like a preview besides the match of the weekend. We haven't done our player ratings or post-match reaction, so we'll kind of include that in today's preview for a game that we're playing again against the same team that caused certain heartbreak the other day. It's West Ham in the Cup. They're away to Man United this evening, a 7:45 kickoff in Old Trafford. And it's a very look. It's a big game. A cup isn't always It's a game. I think a friendly is a big game. I think you've got to test yourself. There's no game where you can't say, I don't have to play this. You have to play every game. You play for the badge when you put that on. And look, I know there'll be rotations this evening. If we weren't in Europe, I think this would be our Europe. We would treat this like it. But I think there's a way this evening where we need to bounce back, where we need to show some pride. Again, we need to test ourselves. Moy said it the other day. He said obviously it was full teams the other day, but he wanted to see where we're at. And we found out where we're at. Now, maybe United could have scored a goal or two besides good goalkeeping and defending. But we showed us that we can put up to the big teams. We played against Ronaldo the other day. He only scored one against us that maybe he shouldn't even scored. We can do it. Although that, I do expect changes this evening because we've got Leeds away in the weekend where we're going to have to probably win that game now. We've got a very tough game then at home to Rapid Vienna next Thursday. But at least we have a break for 5 days in between the Europa League and the Prem. So that is okay. I would make changes, and you can see the bottom there. I think that's 11, is it? It's 10 from the United game of the weekend. The only one I'd keep would be Vlasic in the team. I will go through it really quickly in a minute. I thought we were good the other day. We when you break it down, your overall estimation, reevaluation of the game is easier to understand, I suppose. I said goalkeeping wise, I thought Fabianski did absolutely brilliant the other day. And, rightly so, Moy said, unless he makes a mistake or has a bad run of form, then he's placed to lose, because it is. You can't just, after being served for the years, with Areola being so young still and Fabianski done nothing wrong, say, you can't. So, fair play. I think Areola comes in though this evening because it's a cup game. I don't think he will want to rotate, and with Fabianski's injuries, especially for a goalkeeper in recent years, you don't want to take any chances to him in these sort of games, especially with Areola. If he doesn't play this evening, when will he play? So yeah, that's what we got him for, and this is a good opportunity this evening, a game that we care about, but it will probably be the least of priorities. So yeah, goals, I think Areola's there. We'll go through as well with regards to Ben Johnson. I can see him coming into the left back this evening. I thought Cresswell struggled against United at home the other day. The Ronaldo goal, he could have kept him offside. He kept him on. Lapse of concentration, sometime letting down. Good deliveries into the box. Not his best, especially from set pieces, which we sort of like him. But we can all have off days, and he's still done very well for us this season. But Johnson comes in. We got to remember when Johnson played the game against United. I think it was his debut, was it? Or not long after his debut, a few years back. He ended up playing really well in Old Trafford, and I don't know who it'll be against. He probably Sancho or maybe like Mata, even if he's lucky this evening, something like that. So I think he's got a very good chance of having a good evening, Johnson. And it's all about confidence football, and if you're going to. You need to give these players games because injuries will happen, and even the likes of Johnson could be called up into the team sometime. And he's already good. Give him more minutes, give him more confidence, and we'll see what happens. He can play on the left and right, and there's a potential with him, and let's see what he's got. On the right, I'd give it to Ryan Fredericks. That's why I'm put Johnson on the left. I think with Fredericks he's very interesting because he's he's got pace, which is important. Very much like Cresswell, defensively, it's not his biggest area, which is a problem because he's a right back. I think he's like Masuaku in a way. I think he's potential in the future to be playing right wing. He's been subbed on a few times last season against in right wing. I think he'll start this evening. I think he had a very good game against Zagreb away last week. There's no doubt about his ability going forward. He's a product improved. And that's one part of your game that Koufal has that we haven't really seen a lot this season compared to last. I think Frederick is all one of those players that said bundles of energy. He needs to improve his defending, but he's a great spot player to have in there. And we got him for cheap from Fulham as well. And as a backup, he's not bad. If starting, he's dodgy, especially for a full season. He's not consistent enough. But for a backup, I think he's a very good, solid full back. So he comes into the team. Koufal the other day, I did say he didn't he seems to rush in his crosses. A lot of West Ham fans doesn't agree with that, to be fair. And look, I think he's done very well defensively this season. And his all-round game is still very good. It's going to be hard to get to the basis of last season. But look, Fredericks come into that team. He's not a bad backup, as I said. And let's get straight on to the two centre-backs of Diop and Dawson. Now, this at one stage was our centre-back pairing last season after Ogbonna got injured in the cup game against United last season in Old Trafford, coincidentally. So hopefully he doesn't do it this time if he plays. But I think for the early stages, you're going to look at these centre-back pairing for at least this round and maybe even the next round. Diop's good. A very interesting performance against Zagreb. I thought Zouma, I wouldn't say he carried him, but he looked more superior. But like he helped Diop along the way in his development. He does look shaky, but in the games we recently played towards in the last season, last week, he looks like he's improving with his defensive awareness for Diop. I think with Dawson, with the experience alongside him, and let's not forget, Dawson isn't a bad defender here. Yeah, a few mistakes, maybe a bit slow at times, but he just didn't turn bad overnight. Like, you get what's slightly worse at age, but he's still a very good and reliable at most times and experienced defender that has done a lot for this club since coming in the end of last year. And I think we've used that partnership before. It's still very good to have a backup of those two, the two Ds back there, with a bit of pace and strength. Good partnership between those two. They play with each other a lot last year. I think that's fair enough. Ogbonna and Zouma, they complement each other brilliantly the other day. They were so solid, like literally. You didn't fear once when the ball goes to them. They always had something covered. And, as I said, one of them, maybe even two of Ogbonna and Zouma will get injured throughout the season, and Diop and Dawson will get called in. So, look, I think that's what we have to be looking at. Look, I think that's a very solid partnership. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. It's the cup game, and if we can get through with those two and have a good performance, then look, they're putting themselves in contention for other games in the future, or Prem games, Europa League games. They're going to be up there, and these are all about your audition games for the first team even more. I think that has to be said there. In midfield, Kral and Noble earned the two holding roles. Look, I think Noble did it. It was tough. I was heartbroken. I was speechless. I was sad, angry. I was everything afterwards. Not Noble, just at the game in general. I did say the other day before I didn't do a preview, but I would have said that if we could go get a good show of ourselves, maybe score a goal, keep the score down, we'd be very well the other day. We did that, and hats off, one of the best performances I've seen this season all around from us. We had no Antonio. We played against a very strong team with a lot of money. Played against Ronaldo and Varane back there. And look, we had a few players that I still don't think are good enough for this team, but are very hard working and spirited in there, and they've got a heart for the club, and that's what we asked for. Noble in the end the other day, it's one of those. Look, if everyone could score a penalty if everyone was so good at penalties, they'd score them all the time. Or if everyone could score them, they'd score them all the time. That's what I mean. He's not going to score them all the time, as good as he is. It wasn't the greatest penalty, but he missed it. And it's something you learn from and look back on in a few years, but maybe regrets. But Noble came out this morning and said that he's if he didn't say yes he wants to take, or he will come on if he couldn't, and then someone missed it, he'd come back in a few years and say, what if I was on this? So look, at least he holds that with him. He might have a chance for a penalty this evening if he's on, hopefully. You wouldn't know. We've missed 4 of the last 5 now, so that's completely not Noble's fault. And you look beside him, you've got Kral. I would bring him on. I thought Rice and Suchek were very good the other day. I think Rice maybe not so. Well, Rice does as well, but I think Suchek more needs a rest. He's looked very leggy, hasn't looked as productive going forward this season as much. Looked sloppy in the midfield, passing and all that. And, look, I like Koufal. It's very hard to hit the heights of last season, but if you can get along the lines of it, you'll be doing very well. And I'm excited to see what Kral says. He can put himself in the equation as well with Europe and Prem games in the future, or more cup games along the line. And, look, Noble, we never like to see him start, not because of who he is, but just because of his age and his legs on the pitch. But I'd love to see him put in a good performance this evening. Maybe go to penalties, get the winning penalty. I don't know. But look, I think Mark Noble has a lot left for the future West Ham. And I think that could be a very interesting partnership this season. It's not just a boring one, it's a very interesting one. I think Kral has a bit of energy in him. Noble could sit back and maybe they can rotate, play along the midfield, play along the lines with each other as well. And I think that could be very interesting midfield. I would expect those two to be in there. And again, all the better if we can get through with those two. Maybe they play with each other in the future. Beside that, we'll be going with, of course, I said Lanzini. He comes in, I think he plays at Benrahma. Look, I thought with Lanzini in the cup game against the Europa League game against Zagreb away last week, he was quiet. He had a few glimpses, maybe a bit the ball once. He wasn't completely a ghost like Vlasic, we'll talk about in a minute. But I just thought with Lanzini, there's nothing there from him that I worry about anymore. Has he lost the legs? Has he lost the sharpness? Has he lost something? I don't know. Maybe the clinicalness. He nearly got sent off last week in the Europa League, and I just feel like he's very frustrated. And look, it's very tough because you're never going to be the same again after his injury, realistically. But I just don't know with him. I feel like we're putting him in there just to give him minutes. And look, we're doing that for a lot of players. A lot of clubs will do that. But I just feel like he's in there for the sake of it. And I'd nearly like a Benrahma instead of Lanzini, which we might see. He might get included tonight instead. But I don't know. I would definitely be wary of that, to be fair. But look, Lanzini comes in. Let's hope he can produce something. And if he doesn't produce something this evening, I don't know about him. In front three now, Vlasic on the striker. We're going to go, centre forward, false nine, whatever you want to call him. We saw him rotated against United in his first full debut, to be fair, the other day, which is quite interesting. 1 second. No, you're passing it again. Look, we saw him against United, full debut. He rotated, started out on the right, like he did against Zagreb. When he came into the middle, ball went out right, he switched around a lot. I didn't see a lot of Vlasic so far. He's getting Sancho vibes, United's getting Pepe vibes. That's obviously about half the money in him, but it's just even that what we spend him, I don't know. There's a reason everyone got rid of him. There's a reason he goes out to other leagues. Now I'm holding back with him. I'm giving him a chance. I'm giving him hope because you're not going to expect anything. But there's a big expectation, and you've got to be nearly at Lingard level for us now. Our squad that isn't the greatest as it is, especially in the attack, and we need someone to step up. And if he can't even try and be a bit more livelier in these sort of games, I just don't know with him. I'm giving him a chance up front this season. He needs minutes. He needs fresh legs for him. But if even in these sort of games, if he can't do it, I don't know what to say. Vlasic striker. Out left, I'm going to give it Masuaku. You could question, we could end up going to a back five or like a 5-3-2 because he can obviously pop in there in the end if we started like this. But I think Masuaku is a very good winger, and obviously he's a fullback. But if we're going to have fullbacks for the season anyway, give this the chance for Masuaku to produce forward. Yeah, Moyes will say we need to ease him in, give him minutes. But you're giving him minutes anyway in the second under 23, under 21 league in the Premier League. If you're going to give him that, just give him these minutes instead. Ease him in more. Ease him in against tougher opposition at the senior team. And, I think it'd be very exciting to see whether we go for a back five and he plays wing back or back four and he plays left wing. This is his chance to shine this evening. And look, God knows how long it'll be until he gets injured again. God forbid it'll be soon. I don't know. It might be though, and I hope not. But if it is, this is the chance to shine. And with he'd be a good asset, whether it's a back five or four, as I said, this season, if in the coming weeks, if we could play there in this game. So hopefully it's a good performance if he plays there. I think it'll be a trick on from Masuaku if he doesn't play. And Yarmolenko on the right. Again, I'd be interested maybe a bit Fornals, Benrahma, someone like that here. But look, we got to rest as much as we can this opportunity. It's a pity we got United in this round, really, in it. But look, I think it's probably the best for Yarmolenko to start. In fairness, it was one of his better performances off the bench the other day. Supposed to need a bit more time, to be fair, but won a penalty for us that we unfortunately missed in the end. And he didn't really do step overs. He actually had a shot, I think, to be fair, before that too. So look, overall, I think Yarmolenko, we do need to see more from him. But we got to give him a chance. If he see glimpses here, these sort of cup games is where he's at best. And hopefully he just puts it in this evening. That's all we asking for. But I just worry about a bit of pace there, especially with Vlasic and Yarmolenko. But that's why Masuaku to maybe strengthen that, because we normally have that from like a Bone or someone. So look, I think it'll be a very interesting game this evening. United. While I'm here, I'm going to probably put down who I think what their starting lineup, to be fair, is going to be. I'll type it out really. I think it's going to be Henderson, Telles, Lindelof, Bailly, Dalot. I think he's going to go Matic, I think he's going to go with, now if I'm wrong, let me know to go. Van de Beek. I think he's going to go Mata. Sancho. I think he's going to go with Cavani. And I think he's going to go with Martial. If Martial isn't, if Cavani's maybe something like a Greenwood or something, to be fair. But look, all in all, I think that is a very strong United second team this evening. So that's what I think they're going to go with. Yeah, it'll be very tough. They will rotate though, probably 8-9 changes or so again. And look, our most recent meetings, United, we haven't won. We've put very good tests up against them. And before that, we've had a very good record against United. It's a tough place. We haven't won their years away, United. But to knock them out of the cup and get a big team gone into the last 16 we go, if we win, it'd be a big statement and very interesting. Then we'd have to start playing strong teams in this, because who would mind a good cup run? We haven't gone past, since the 2017-18 season, we haven't gone past this round. Last year we lost Everton this round. The year before we lost it around against Oxford, or was it the round before, I think, even away. And another away game this round, this time here. So look, hopefully we can go for it in a way. I just want a good tempo, good, fascinating, exciting game, to be fair. And pretty much the same as the other day, and seeking any of these players get into the first team or get off the bench and participate in other big games for the first team as we go through the season. Hopefully he does the right thing, makes a few subs, as the tempo good, no silly mistakes, communication and all that sort of stuff, and stay concentrated. I would imagine United don't bring on Ronaldo, use him at all. If he does start, it'll be very tricky for this team to cope with him, because it's the second team pretty much if he plays him. But look, let's see how we go and get on with that. So that's going to be match preview for today's game, guys. I'll be doing a live watch on tonight, and afterwards I'll be on a Fancom West Ham Fan TV, and also I'll be doing a live post-match reaction player ratings not so long after that, if not tomorrow as well. So take care, guys, and we will see you later. One thing left to say, come on, you Irons.